I tell you, protecting yourself can damage your whole life. And what do I mean by that? Well, in this video, I'm gonna share a very personal story with you, and it's coming directly from here. It's true, but I'm also gonna share the effects, the damage that this episode had in my life. So stay tuned. If you like it, you know what to do. And this series of videos is going to be a little different. There's no script to it. I didn't really plan what to say. And as you know, I am not speaking English as my first language. So I'll do my best, and I hope that what's coming from my heart will resonate to you, to your heart, to your life, and also in your business. And that's exactly why I take this here, because I know we are business owners, we are entrepreneurs, we are fighting, we are striving, we are doing all the stuff we need to do. And like I always say, this is like a roller coaster. There's ups and downs. Fact is also, we are human beings. We got a heart. And heart is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. So, when I was a kid, actually, before I share this with you, I'm going to tell you one thing why I came to this story. I was sitting the other day with a friend of mine, a friend that I've known for more than 40 years. 40 years. We went to school together. And where I am right now on my path, I am finally beginning to opening up to new things from my story, from my life. I sat with this guy, good friend of mine, and we each shared where are we in our lives. And I actually told him some of the things that I'm going to share with you in this video. And he was so surprised. He said, "Michael, I didn't know that. That must have been so much pain in your life." And I said, "Yeah, but I didn't recognize it." So let's go back. I was a kid, a young boy. Lived with my family, my mother and father, and also a sister at that age, only a sister. I didn't have a brother yet. He came a couple of years after this, what I'm sharing with you now. And well, I had for weeks agreed with my father on getting a new bike. And I don't know if you remember being a kid, maybe it's different from a boy to a girl, I don't know, but as a boy, a new bike. I was looking so much forward to get this new bike. You know, there was this special, what do you call that? The handle for the steering wheel, for the hands. And it was like a sports bike, and I wanted it white. And I was looking so much forward to get out with my dad and buy this bike. I shared it with my friends in school. I shared it with my friends that I play sport with, even with the music teacher. I shared it with everyone, and I was so excited. And that day, when we were going to get the bike, I couldn't sleep all night. And even though I was tired, I just remember the feeling of being so excited. I was sitting in the kitchen. I believe my sister was with me, and I was just talking with her about the bike and all the details and how I was going to just really ride through the city on my bike. I was this big guy, and I think that she was just listening with big eyes and, "Yeah, that's right, big brother. That's right, Michael." And finally, I heard the car. The car pulled in our carport. I think that's the right language. The door opened, and at that moment, my heart dropped. I was just getting sad. I was getting frustrated, and I remember I was just biting my teeth together. My jaw was like contracted because I didn't want to show tears. And what happened was that once again, my father entered the door to our house, and I seen that face before. He was drunk. And at that moment, I knew that there were not going to be any shopping bikes today. No bike for me. I had been so much looking forward to this afternoon. I shared it with everyone, and once again, I got a big disappointment. And what happened was that my father, he didn't really understand my expression, and he began to ask me questions, but he was drunk. Alcoholic, drunk. So he knew how to speak, how to behave and all of that, but he wasn't really present and aware of what was going on. One thing, and that's another thing, I'll share that in another story, that he was driving drunk, but he was just looking at me. He really didn't understand anything, and I didn't really share because I was just biting my teeth together. Finally, he asked me what's wrong, and I just bursted into tears. They ran down, and I started screaming. Something like, why? Why did you do this to me today? Today of all days, couldn't you just one day come home sober? He just looked at me, and with the face he was in when he was drunk, he was like, well, we can go and bike and shop that bike, that's no problem. But I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be around him when he was drunk. I didn't want to drive. I didn't want him to drive. But I didn't think clearly about any of these things. I was just getting so emotional. I was so disappointed. I was hurted. And I screamed. I spoke with my sister about this maybe a half or 1 year ago. She told me, I couldn't remember this, that as she remembered this story, well, because I was screaming so much, he actually took my arms and he just got me up against the wall. Now, I can't remember ever him doing any physical things to me, but that's how she remembers the story. What I remember is that I ran out of the house and into one of the neighbor's garden, and just in the corner that's most far away in their garden, and I just sat there crying. And I was just like, I don't want anybody to find me. I just want to be alone. I was disappointed and I was hurt. As I said in the beginning, these things, these disappointments, they change our lives. It changed mine, because at that moment, that was one of the biggest things when I look back at my story where I really remember being hurted. And I also remember all the other times of being embarrassed, disappointed. And each of these times as a young kid, those disappointments got me to close here, lock myself in, close around my heart, building a wall. And the fact is, I knew at that point that I did it because I made a conscious decision not to being hurt like that again. Different episodes. And finally at a moment, well, I was just closed down. And it actually took me around 40 years to open up again, to actually understand and trust and feeling love like love should be felt. More than 40 years. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, as I said in the beginning, first of all, we're all human beings. We all have a story. I have many stories and I want to share them because if you resonate with them, maybe it's something where you also want to share something. Maybe you want to connect more with me. Maybe you're like, I also want to lift that weight out of my back or open up here. I want to enjoy life more. I want to love more. I want to live more, be more present. So maybe these things resonates with you. And then you can connect with me. I'll put some links below here in the description. And there will be more stories from me, because I feel these things are so important. I know as a fact, because I met men just around the last 2 weeks as I speak this video, people, but mostly men, came to me for some reason, and we just connected, and they also shared some heavy parts from their lives. Burdens, disappointments, broken heart. And it's heavy. It's real heavy. So again, if you resonate with this, feel free to connect with me. And I would love that you like this video if you like it. And also that you comment below. Whatever comes to you, just comment. And feel free to subscribe to my channel too, because there will be more like this. Like I said in the beginning, well, I can help with the business part, but we are not only businessmen and women or entrepreneurs, we're also human beings, and we got a heart. So, and if you're wondering what happened after, what happened with my dad, what happened in those 40 years, these stories, I will share them with you as it comes to me, and I'll just put them up on YouTube. Hopefully it will help someone to resonate and lift off their burdens, connect with me, and like I did, transform their lives. 40 years is too long to not living in love and enjoying life, to just strive but without being aligned, yes, but maybe even more than that, being just a human being, open, honest, transparent. So thanks for watching. I trust you can use this, and I look forward to seeing you online somewhere, maybe even physical, and in another video too. Ciao.